about how to handle events. Okay, events in the sense how when you press a button or when you press any key, some kinds of action takes place, right? So if I'm just pressing on this PowerPoint presentation, then it is just getting working. So if I click on some buttons so that it is working, right? So how these are handled by Java. So that is what we are going to look today. So how the events are handled. So the events, the type of events that we will be looking today will be only keyboard events and the mouse events. That is when a key is pressed in the keyboard, what happens, and when the mouse is clicked, what happens. So if your program will be able to identify those kinds of events that are happening. So that is the topic for today. So before we go, we'll just have a quick recap of yesterday's, that is day before yesterday's topic. So which of these functions is called to display the output of an applet? So display, paint, display applet, print applet. So which of these functions is used to display the output of an applet? So give me your answers in the chat. I just repeat the question. Which of these functions is called to display the output of an applet? Display, paint, display applet, print applet. Students, give me your response in the chat. So I think you have not recollected what we saw in the previous class. So paint is the method which is used to display output of an applet. So like I told you, right, how we have a run method in thread. So the run method in thread is where the actual execution of the thread begins. So the thread is started with the help of start method and automatically the run method gets called. So that run methods we would have given what is the implementation for that thread. So likewise, paint method is used so that this method, whatever we give inside the paint method. So if you could remember, the parameter that we pass to the paint method will be the object of graphics class. So we will be using graphics and then object for the graphics class. Then with the help of the graphics object, we'll be using draw string, draw rectangle, draw line, all those things we saw, right? So whatever you want an applet to display, that is to be given inside the paint method. Okay, next question. Which of these methods can be used to output a string in an applet? Just before I told you this method. Display, print, drawstring, transient. So which method is used to output a string in an applet? So what is your answer? Why there is no response from you people? Give me the answer. Even if it is wrong, no issues, just type your answer. I'm audible, right? Can someone confirm whether my voice is audible? Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Then why there's no answer? Okay, 2C. Yes, drawstring. So drawstring is the method which is used to display the output onto the, that is display some string as an output from the applet. So third question. So what will be the output of this following code? So that is you are importing AWT abstract window toolkit. So through which we are drawing all these different shapes and all the graphics components are available in this AWT. AWT is an API. It is an interface which provides different methods such that you can work with graphics. And then Java applet. So in order to run the applet code, your class should extend the applet class. So you should implement all the packages that are available in applet. So your class should always extend your applet class. Then, as I told you, graphics object we will be passing on to the paint method. So paint method is where your applet code starts executing. So I've just given, I've used the graphics object. So graphics object dot drawstring, a simple applet 2020. So what will be the output of this code? Your output will be a simple applet or a simple applet 2020, compilation error or runtime error. So what will be your output for the third program? Third, yeah. Okay, let's see. Yes, the answer is correct. So A is the correct answer. So what this 2020 indicate, that is nothing but the X and Y coordinate. So the X and Y coordinate at which your applet will start displaying your output. So when we draw the lines and when we draw the rectangles, when we draw the arc, we drew rectangle with fill color, all those things, right? We used to specify what is the X and Y coordinate, then you should specify what is the width and height. So these are the parameters that we pass to the methods. So to drawstring, so drawstring method will just display whatever message that you give onto the output screen. So and 2020 indicates that X and Y coordinates. So you need to refresh whatever is taught in the previous class. So don't forget to do that. So study on your daily basis. So fourth one, arrange the methods according to the life cycle of the applet. So we have a life cycle for the applet, right? So applet is first what happens. So I have shuffled the order in which the life cycle methods are called. So you just need to rearrange the methods. So if it is easy, just type the ABCD, otherwise type the method which will be called first, second, and so on. I give you some time to look on to the options. You can either type as ABCD, just rearrange them and type it, or better, just type which method. Just type the name of the method alone. You need not give the full signature of the method. I could just see if there's any answer. No, as of now. Okay, then in order not to waste the time, first will be init. Okay, so first method will be init method. Your applet will first get initialized, then your applet will start, then you will paint the applet. That is, your applet will go on to execution with the paint method. Then you will stop the applet. Then the applet is destroyed. So this is the order. So this will give you the correct order. So first it is initialized, then initialization is done only once, and then the applet is started, that is it's loaded onto the browser. You find the output by executing the paint method. You are able to view the output of the applet. Then the applet is stopped once you minimize your browser, or when the applet execution is completed, it automatically stops, and then it is destroyed once you exit your browser. So this is the life cycle of the applet, which is explained with the methods in which the applet life cycle is implemented. So next one, what are the two ways in which you can run an applet? So this we saw last class. So you have two ways. So what are they? What are the two ways by which you can run an applet? So I need answers from you. At least name one method by which you can run the applet. I told you a tool, right? We have a tool, using that we run the applet. I showed you the example also. So what is that tool we are using, and what is the other way in which you can run your applet? Students, give me some response. You cannot be quiet like this. This shows that you are not going through what is given in the previous class. Yes, Applet Viewer tool is one way. Yes, Applet Viewer is one way in which you can run the code, and the second one is by directly running the HTML file. Yes, Arshini, you're right. So one way is you can use the Applet Viewer tool, and the second one is you can use the HTML file to directly run it. So if you are using the HTML file, then you will have your Java code separately, then you will have your applet code separate in a HTML file, and then you have to just compile your Java file, but you shouldn't execute the Java file. Then after compiling the Java file, you will get the .class file. So that is included in the applet code, and your HTML will be directly opening on in your browser. So once you click on the HTML file, it will open on to the browser. You will be able to view the output. And the second one is by using a applet viewer tool. So we will have to embed the applet code inside your Java code itself. We do not have a separate HTML file. So what we will do is we will give applet code is equal to what is the class name that we will give, that is dot classified, and then width and height of the applet. So with applet viewer tool, you have to compile your Java class, and you need not execute it. Instead, you will give applet viewer space your file name dot Java. So that is how you execute your applet with HTML and applet viewer tool. Okay, so that's it for the recap, and we are into the today's topic, so which is event handling. So as I told you, event is nothing but any kind of action that we do. So here I'm just moving my mouse, and I'm trying to have a annotation here. Okay, I'll just have something. So this key is pressed, right? Some kind of things I'm doing with my keyboard, sorry, with my mouse. So likewise, I can also press the key such that the different slides it moves on. So this is called as event. An event is nothing but any change in the state of an object. So here object we consider this the keyboard and the mouse. So when a key is pressed, when a mouse is clicked, when a right click happens, when I do a double click, some kind of changes happens, right? Because of this only we are able to interact with the system. So when you give your username and password, you are just able to give it by providing by clicking onto the particular options that we have, right? So just click on the username, then type your username. So whatever you type is visible on the output screen. So this is happening because of the event handler. Like how we have an exception handler. So whenever we have an exception, that exception is handled by an exception handler, right? So likewise, when some kind of event happens, then that is to be handled. So that is what is called as an event handling. So event is nothing but any change in the state of the object. So you have two types of event. One is foreground event and second one is background event. So whatever mouse click keyboard I was talking about, it is the foreground event. So it is done by the user. So it is done by the some kind of interaction that is done by the user. So that is called as a foreground event. So these foreground events will help you to interact with your system through your interface. So it can be your GUI or it can be any kind of interface through which you interact with the system. And the second one is background event. So those kind of events which are happening inside your system, like your operating system is interrupted, hardware or software fail, which is out of the control of the user. So that we call it as background events. So events are of two types. Events are nothing but a change in the state of an object. So if anything changes from its initial stage to any other state, then we call them as an event. So we have two types of events, so foreground and background. So foreground is happening because of the interaction of the user, and background is because of the interaction of the that is because of the system. So next is event handling. So as I told you, if some event is happening, if a mouse is clicked, so when I double click on folder, then it has to open. So how that system knows that when something is double clicking, you will have to open a folder. So that is done by event handler. So we have these kinds of code which help us to handle all these events. So when you do event handling, you need to know two names which we call them as source and listener. Okay, source is the object which is changing its state. Okay, if I'm talking about the keyboard event, then keyboard is the source for me. If I'm talking about the mouse event change, then mouse is the source for me. So source is an object which is changing its state. So this has to be handled by the listener. So listener is nothing but a event handler, like how we have a try catch. So try is the block of code which will have your exception generated. So your exceptions can be placed inside the try block. So likewise, whichever event is gonna happen, so that we call it as source, and whichever has to be done, whatever has to be done when that state change happens in the object, then we call it as a event handler or a listener. So listener will keep on be looking for if there is any change in the state of the object. So now I'm not moving my mouse anywhere. So if I'm just trying to move it and I'm just doing something, right? So this is a mouse event. So your mouse handler is just listening, okay, like how you are listening to lectures. So it is listening whether an event is happening. So if an event happens, then it will have to handle the events. That is what we call it as a listener. So once an event happens, you will have a specified code which says what is to be done. Okay, if I double click, what is to be done? If I do a single click, what is to be done? If I press keyboard up arrow, what happens? When I press a down arrow, what should happen? So everything has got some kind of work that is to be done. That is what is called as event handling. So you have source and you have listener. So next, these are the steps, general steps that are involved in any kind of event handling. So first one is that event happens. Okay, that is you change the state of the object. So second thing, when the object change happens, so you have to create an object for that particular event. So that we will see on to the programming aspect. So object for the concerned event class is automatically created and it is informed to the listener. So now your listener will be having methods that it will implement such that that event is handled. So those things are done by the listener. So first thing is you will have a state change in the object. That is something is done by the object. You either click or you either press something. So that kind of event is first getting happening. So next, for that event, you will have to create object such that the listener will be able to work on the methods that are available such that the event is handled. So the method is executed. So this is what happens when an event is handled. So these are the different classes and these are the different interfaces that we have. So these are the event classes. So as I told you, action, mouse event, mouse wheel, key event, item, text event, adjustment, window, component, container, focus. So these are the different kind of event classes that we have, and these are the corresponding interfaces. So your class will be implementing these interface such that your mouse listener is implemented. So today we will be seeing only about this mouse and the keyboard event listening. So that is your key listener. So these two only will be looking on. So the other things will be looking in the later classes once we see how to create label, how to create buttons, checkbox, all those things. So that will come in the event listener, sorry, item listener. So that will be looked later on. So as per your portions for today, we'll be looking about the mouse event and about the key event. So when you have any mouse or key being pressed, then your class will have to implement these interfaces. These are interfaces and these are not methods. So first we'll be looking about the mouse events. So what kind of events can be happening in the mouse? So the mouse can be clicked, the mouse can enter the screen, the mouse can exit the screen, the mouse can be pressed or the mouse can be raised. So these are the five different events that can happen with a mouse. So mouse is pressed I mean both the left and the right. Okay, so left click and the right click we are talking about. So that is mentioned here. So it is clicked, it is entered, it is leaving the panel, it is pressed, it is released. Okay, so these are the different methods that we have so that these kinds of events are handled. So all these are having a object created for the mouse event. So I told you when you have an event, you will have to create object for that particular event. So mouse is the event that happens here. So we create object for that event. So next we will have listeners, that is interfaces. So these are the different interfaces, mouse clicked, mouse entered. So these interfaces will have to be implemented in your program. That is, you will have to say what will happen when the mouse is clicked. What will happen when the mouse is entering into the screen, when it is leaving out of the screen. So we will specify all these things by giving some code inside these interfaces. So as you know, interfaces will have only methods declared inside them. You will have to implement these methods. So this is an example code. I have it in a notepad. We will just go to it. So this is my example code. I have it in a notepad. We will just go to it. Here where I have created a constructor. So this is my class name. Mouse listener example is my class name. So it is extending your frame. So frame is nothing but the output that we view. Okay, whatever output that we view using your applet or using any event handler, everything is considered as a frame. So you need to specify what will be the size of this frame, whether the frame is visible, and all those things. So as I told you, you will have to implement the mouse listener interface. So your class is implementing the mouse listener interface. Only then this can be happening. Otherwise, you will get a compilation error. So always the class which you are creating should implement the interface mouse listener. So this mouse listener will be able to handle those five kinds of messages methods that we were talking about, right? So all these five methods are handled by the mouse listener. So that is the introduction, and then you call the constructor. So why we are calling the constructor is we need some entry point where your listener starts beginning the execution, right? So inside the constructor, we have given all these five methods. Okay, when the mouse is clicked, what happens? When the mouse is entering into the screen, what happens? When the mouse exits the screen, when the mouse is pressed, when the mouse is released. So these are the different five methods that we have seen, right? So these five methods we have given the implementation here. So we have given the implementation by providing a text message saying that the mouse is clicked, the mouse is entered, the mouse is exited. Why we have used this set text is because everything that we do it is inside a frame. Whatever output that you are going to view is not onto the console. Okay, your output is not displayed onto the console, but you will have a different window which opens so that your program gets executed. So in order to do this, we have to create a frame. So that is why we are giving extends frame. So this frame we will have to set its boundary. Okay, so size of the frame is 300 and then the layout. So we have not given any layout. We have different layouts that we will be looking when we look about the AWT and swing. So as of now we have given that the layout is null and the frame should be visible. So set the visibility of the frame as true. So whatever event handling programs you write, you will have these set of codes. Okay, so these set of codes will be repeated in any kind of event handling you do. So you can see that I have given a add mouse listener this. So this indicates the obviously the current object, right? So we are using the listener add listener method so that whichever event is happening, okay, whichever mouse is being clicked, so these events, okay, these events are getting executed. So we are creating a label, okay, so label, so we have created an object for the label. Label is nothing but a place where you display some output onto your screen. If you could have studied HTML, for in HTML also when we create a user form, we have a label. So label is nothing but a place for you to understand, very simple. I'm just telling you a label is a place where I'm going to display the output. So we applet we used g dot draw string, right? Graphics object dot draw string, whatever string we give at particular x and y coordinate, it getting displayed, right? So we are specifying where you want the output to be displayed. Likewise, I am creating a label that will specify where the output is to be displayed. So this is how you create a label. So label is a class, you create object for the label, and then you initialize it with the constructor of the label and setting the boundary of the label. So what is the x and y coordinates, and what is the length, that is width and height of the label. So I am adding the label onto my frame. Okay, everything you create, whatever input types you create or an output type you create, like how we have checkbox, that is a different radio buttons, all those kinds can be an input or it can be an output, right? So those kinds of input and output events that we have it, we will have to add them into the frame. So whatever you create, that you will have to add it to the frame. Only then it will be visible onto the frame. So if you create a checkbox, we will add it to the frame. If you create a radio button, we will add it to the frame. If you create a text box, we will add it to the frame. So once you create anything inside the frame, that has to be added. So inside that listeners, that is your interface methods, we are just setting the value that will be displayed for the label. So if the mouse is clicked at a particular location 20, 50 and the width and height 100, 200, this message mouse is clicked will get displayed onto the screen. So when the mouse is entering at this particular location, okay, at this x and y coordinate, it will just display a message mouse is entered. So likewise, when the mouse is exiting and when the mouse is pressed, these are handled in this particular program. So we are creating a constructor. So inside this constructor, I'm just giving the action that is to be done when a particular event is happening. So everything is a frame, okay, output is a frame. So I'm creating a label, I'm adding the label, and here set size, set layout, set visibility is for the frame. So I'm setting the size of the frame as 300, 300. Layout is null as of now, and the visibility it is true. Yes, the frame should be visible. And these are the events that can happen. And if the event happen, what is to be done is given inside. So what we are trying to do is we are just trying to display some message. So I'll execute this. So execution is same. Just give your file name Java C, your file name dot Java. So once it is compiled, directly executed. We have not used any applet. We are just using the listeners. These are methods that are available. So just execute it. It will take some time. You will have an output screen that is popping up. So there it is. So I can see that the mouse, this is the size of the frame 300, 300. So this is the frame that I was talking about, and the size is 300, 300 because we have specified the size of the frame as 300, 300. So this is your kind of events that is happening. So once I enter into this particular frame, so the mouse is entered, the mouse is exited. If I press, so the mouse is pressed. Now I'm going to release the mouse, so it's giving mouse is clicked and mouse is released. So these kinds of events are happening. So this message that we have given, right, that label dot set bounds. So this will specify the boundary or the location in which your output is displayed. So this L dot set text. So the label will have this particular text getting setted on. So this is about mouse event. So next is mouse motion listener. That is, you can see whatever we have seen is just click, entering, exiting. If I just drag, see, I'm just dragging the mouse here, so I'm just drawing something, right? So if the mouse, when you go on to an URL, okay, when you search on a URL, the mouse, if you move over the mouse pointer changes, right? So those kind of things which listen to the action, that is, which listen to the space, that is how the mouse is moved, how the motion of the mouse happens, whether it is dragged, whether it is moved to a particular location, so those kind of things. So first listener, what we saw is the basic things that we have in a mouse: click, released, pressed, all those things. And next one is regarding the mouse motion that we have. So we will see a program for this also. The remaining things will be the same. You will have same oh, I'm sorry, I've just overwritten some code. Just a minute. I think I did some mistake in copying pasting the code from the net. Okay, then I have to see it. Okay, then might be this code, we will see it in the next class. It was just a good code, but I did some mistakes in copying the code. I have just copied the key listener and the mouse. I have overridden them. So I'll do show you the output in the next class. Might be I'll ask the next faculty to show you the output for this. I'll show you one more output for mouse listener. So here what we are going to do is same thing. Your class will extend the frame and it is implementing the mouse listener. First one we saw, right, clicked and all those things. So the mouse listener. So when this constructor is called, you are setting the layout, visibility and size for the frame. So when the mouse is clicked, okay, when the mouse is clicked, I'm changing the color. I'm just setting the color to blue, okay, and I'm drawing a oval, and I'm drawing the oval at that particular position. So the color is set to blue when the mouse is clicked. Okay, when the mouse is clicked, the color is set to blue, and I'm filling the space with the oval. So we will just execute this code and see the output. File name. It is compiled, so now just run it. We will have the frame. Okay, so now when I enter the frame, so wherever I click, okay, wherever I just make a click, the color will be blue and it will be filled with the oval shape. So wherever I'm clicking, the color is blue and you are filling it with the oval shape. So that is what is given here. So when the mouse is clicked, so you are setting the color to blue and you are filling, that is you are filling a color, that is you're drawing a oval with a filled color. So whatever is the x and y coordinate at that particular location, okay, wherever I press. So I'm not sure where I'm going to press. So if I press it here, so at this point, what is the x coordinate and what is the y coordinate that it is reading on, and the size is 30-30, width and height is 30-30, and you get this oval getting displayed. So wherever I press, you are getting the current x and y coordinate and you are filling it with the oval shape. So this is one kind of event handling for the mouse. And the next one is about the keyboard. So whether the key is pressed, key is released, and the key is typed. So these are the different kinds of events that can happen. So I can press the key, I can release the key, or I can type something. So these kinds are handled by the key event class. So you have to create object for it, and these are the handlers that we have. So we'll see our program output for that. Okay, so this is your listener. So same thing, your class should extend the frame and it implements key listener. So earlier we saw mouse listener and now it is about the key listener. So as usual, we have created a label and we have created a text area. Text area is nothing but an input place where for example, you provide comments, right? So for comments, you have a box shape. So likewise, text area is nothing but a box-like shape. If it is normal a text box, you can provide only specified characters, specified length of characters. But if it is a text area, you can provide as many number of lines of inputs you want. So I'm just adding the, creating a label. I'm just adding the label. I'm just specifying the boundaries, and then I'm creating the text area, and I specify the boundaries of this text area. And this will, that is the whatever key I am pressing. So that key listener, whatever output you get, that will be added on to the text area. So as I told you, whatever inputs you create, that is to be added to your frame. So add your label and add your text area. So text area object that I've created is area. So that's why it is area equal to, and then I'm adding the label and I've added the text area. And next is for the frame. So frame size, layout, and visibility. So this is as usual. So what are the different kinds of key that event handling can happen? So key is pressed, key is released, key is typed. So if those kinds of things happen, so I'm just setting the value of the label as key is pressed, key is released, and key is typed. So everything happens inside your constructor. So you can see that everything is inside the constructor. So we'll see the output for this. I've compiled, then I'm just executing it. Now your pop-up window will come. So you see now this is your text area. So in the previous example, it was just a normal frame. Now this is a text area. So if it is a text area, you can provide more number of inputs. There is more number of rows. Okay, more number of rows. It is just like if you are giving your username. So your username can be of specified length. But if you want to give comment, okay, if you want to review some products and you want to give some comment, then you will have to type more than one line of text, one line of sentence. So for that we will use text area. So now when I press something, so on above you can see that the key is released, key is typed, key is pressed, all these kinds of things. So whatever I am doing, the key is released. So now I'm just typing it. I'm just holding on. Okay, so if I'm holding on, we'll say key is pressed. All those kinds of event is getting handled. So this is about the key event listener. So whichever user-defined class you are creating, you should extend your frame and it should implement key listener. So as the name suggests, extends means this is a class and implements means that this is an interface. So key listener is an interface and frame is an object. So we are creating label and text area. So whatever key is being pressed or typed, that is displayed onto the output screen. And the last one is adapter class. So whatever interface we have seen today, that is your key interface, that is key listener interface, mouse listener interface, mouse motion listener interface. So all these kinds of interfaces that we saw earlier, right? So these are the kinds of interfaces, right? So these window listener will be used when you resize your window. So when your window is minimized or when the window is maximized, something like that. So these things, these listeners are available in a class which we called as adapter class. So these adapter classes, if you import in your program, you can implement all the interfaces. So all the interfaces that are available earlier, so those interfaces can be implemented using the adapter class. So you will have a keyword adapter. So earlier you had it as event, okay, action event, mouse event. So now it is just the adapter, key adapter, mouse adapter. So same listener. The listener is same, key listener, mouse motion listener. So everything remains the same. So if you have these interfaces in the adapter classes, so we call them as window adapter, key adapter, and so on. And that's it. So if you have any doubt, you can just ask me. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, then thank you, students. Thank you for attending the class. You can go for lunch.